Hi, this is Josephine, and you're watching The Versatile Housewife. Today, I want to talk about the tasks that don't provide an instant gratification, and more specifically, that instant gratification that comes to us who very much rely on a visual before and after for feeling affirmed in the fruits of our labor. So, for example, and I think this is a great way to start this, is you have a countertop full of dirty dishes, or you have dirty dishes in the bedrooms. Let's say you were not feeling, your whole house got sick. So there are water cups, soup bowls, there are dirty tissues in the bedroom. So you collect everything, you put it in the trash. Great. Now you don't see dirty tissues. You take all those cups and bowls, you put them back into the kitchen on the counter. Awesome. The bedrooms already look clearer. And now the counter looks dirty. And because you operate visually, oh, sweet. So we are going to either put the dirty dishes into the dishwasher, or we are going to hand wash them, or a mixture of the two, and we're going to put them away. And now here's where it starts to really break off. If you hand wash them and you decide to immediately dry them, visually, you are also seeing the drain board empty and look clearer. However, when the dishwasher runs, there's no visual difference when it's closed and running of the dishes being put away as there is when the drain board is full and you put it away. And this might seem like a really niche issue, but this is something that I have to deal with. And so in my efforts to be the mom who gets it all done, who's that girl of the mom world, I mean, for sure, I'm not perfect. My house is not perfect, but this is a tip that has helped me. And it's just taking a peek. Literally just taking a peek in the cabinets, in the dressers, and appreciating the fullness. But sometimes you just have to remind yourself of that. And this also is going to develop your ability to keep inventory, whether on paper or mentally, but to just keep inventory, like just knowing what's in your house. So when you open the cabinet and you see only 3 plates when you know you have 4, this is going to teach you, well, now you know there's a mysterious 4th plate going around. Either that or maybe it broke and someone didn't tell you yet. I mean, especially dealing with a large household. If you go out, occasionally this can happen. And I'm not going to assign any malice here. I'm just going to say like someone dropped it, cleaned it, just forgot to mention it. This is just going to help you keep a running inventory. So now you know you have a plate to replace. And in general, I would call this a problem for anyone who's very visual, just the problem of closed doors. So I do know that open concept can be really hard to maintain. Seeing everything out in the open can be so overstimulating that it is overwhelming. But one of the counters to that is also that if all the doors are closed, well, it feels tidy and clean to someone who thinks more visually, because you can't see it. You can't see the mess. And also in terms of if you know it's clean, you also can't experience the satisfying reward of seeing it be clean because it looks the same regardless. So what I want to do is try to help teach you how to begin to reward yourself. And it's one small trick that should work, whether it's the laundry room, the dishwasher, the kitchen cabinets inside, if they're organized or not, your pantry doors. And that is to focus on the fullness of things. And I'm not here trying to advocate for decanting either, so that you can see through a glass jar that it's full. Because if you get to that level, you're going to go crazy anytime you are using up items. But it's simply to start just appreciating your sock drawer being full, to appreciate your clothing dressers, closets being full, to appreciate that your toilet paper is stocked, to appreciate that your dishes in your cabinets are full. And if you ever need to just take a peek inside like a kitchen cabinet just to check, that's good. And actually that is building your skill of running and keeping inventory in your home. So think about it. Mom seemed to know where everything was. And she also seemed to know where almost everything of ours were. At least my mom did. It was a superpower. Well, believe it or not, I have begun to develop that superpower. And I think part of that is keeping a running inventory And I have gotten better at keeping a running inventory as I have been learning to train myself to feel rewarded in just appreciating the fullness of these locations in the house of clean items that I need to use. So I will have issues if I am just keeping track of taking a peek in the laundry room. For starters, in my house, my laundry room is not really something that I can easily just walk past to take a peek in. But I will have less issues if when I'm getting dressed, I am just noticing how full my underwear bin is, my sock bin is, and how full my dresser of clothing is, or when I go into my closet where I have stuff on hangers, just how full it is of my coats and dresses. And this is how I've been able to begin to really feel a sense of gratification for my homemaking when it comes to dealing with things that aren't like a very much a big before and after. Another example to compare it to is, let's say you have made a whole bunch, you've saved up some money and stuff, you do a large online order and you get all the boxes in on one day and you take down the boxes. I do know there's challenges with dealing with box clutter and paper clutter, but just for the sake of the visuals, taking down all those boxes, folding them, and putting them in your car to take them to go get recycled, or putting them out to the curb to be recycled, very much visually, you saw a big pile of boxes and you cleaned it. And that's satisfying. Like, okay, especially if you let the boxes sit there for a couple days to get used to the clutter of boxes, it's very rewarding to have that just fresh, open space to walk in again. But for something like just constantly doing clothes all the time, especially if you're a load a day kind of person, that can be kind of lost on you, which is why we have to find other areas to focus on. So I hope that this was an informational video on ways to manage and be able to find more satisfaction when it just feels like, well, why isn't this homemaking thing as satisfying as it maybe was when I got that first hit of motivation and did the first few steps? You may just be someone who receives more pleasure out of it when you are focused on the visuals, and there are ways to work around that, to be reminded in a more tactile and visual way of all the good that your homemaking does for you and your household. Anyways, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I thank you for sticking around for this video.